Hello there. So before I forget, this is for the Europa League that I'm hosting this year. This is the code. Go to the official UEFA website, click on Europa League, Gaming, Score Predictors, and then join our league. Totally beat me because I'm terrible using this code. Okay? Hello there, this is Welsh ASMR 82. Hey, how you doing? And in today's video, we're going to be doing the Matchday 1 score prediction for the UEFA Europa League in an ASMR, nice and quiet, relaxing video. So not like these other channels that scream and shout to keep your attention. I'm going to keep your attention because you might fall asleep. Okay, so I'm going to go through and I want you to comment and I want you to tell me off if you think I am massively wrong. That's absolutely fine. Be nice, obviously. And do join the league and see if you can beat me. I think the answer will be yes, because I'm pretty awful. And yeah, so looking forward to this video, looking forward to a new season in Europa League. And I'm going to go with my gut instinct on each one, which means that, you know, I might be totally wrong, but I don't follow every single league in Europe. I am aware of the results because I do results videos on this channel, so hopefully that'll give me an idea of how they're going to do. Cross my fingers. Okay, you ready? Okay, oh, and by the way, if you're looking for the Champions League predictors, I did them in a previous video, so check those out. Right. Karabakh against Molde. Well, Molde, I think, are quite far into the Norwegian season, aren't they? Karabakh, the best side in Azerbaijan, as far as I know. They have a lot of foreign players for them as well. They recruit really well. I'm going to go 2-1 to Molde because Molde really impressed me in last year's tournament. Okay, Leverkusen against Häcken. Now, I've actually seen a lot of Häcken because they played a couple of games against Welsh teams in the qualifying section. They put out TNS, for example. And I just happened to watch one of their later games as well. Leverkusen, people are raving about them at the moment, and the scorelines tend to suggest that people are putting Leverkusen as heavy favourites. However, Häcken will, you know, give people a little bit of a challenge this season. Mark my words. But their best player did get transferred, so that's a bit of a bummer. I'm going to say 2-0 to Leverkusen. Okay, Sheriff Tiraspol of Moldova against my little favourite team in this competition, Roma. Roma have started appallingly in Serie A. So normally you'd think, oh, Roma heavy win. No, absolutely not. With so many injuries, so many problems with, you know, sort of, what's the word? That Mourinho's only just been allowed back in the stadium because he was banned for his behaviour. So people are saying win easy for Roma at the minute. I'm sorry, I'm a Roma fan. I don't agree. We could get caught out and have a draw. However, I think I'll probably edge my bets and be positive and say 2-1. I think Dybala is back from injury, so hopefully he can play. Okay, next up, Servette from Switzerland against Slavia Praha of Czechia. Servette are a decent team actually, but Slavia Praha are a very good team, and I'm tipping them to get at least second place in the league this year. So, do I go with a draw? People thinking a draw. I'd say either a draw or a slight win. That's quite good odds there, 2-1. I might go for that, 2-1. Okay, next up, Panathinaikos against Villarreal. Now, you, my subscribers, tell me that the Greek league is really sort of leveling up at the moment. Lots of the Greek teams have bought really well this year, had a very good transfer window, similar to Turkey actually. Not quite in the same way as Saudi Arabia have, for example, but there we go. And yeah, I think they're going to do pretty well, the Greek teams, this year in European competition. Villarreal, I can't remember if they started poorly in Spain. I kind of feel like they have. No one seems to think that the home team can win, though. Am I going to go against them? I'm going to say 2-1. I'm going to be naughty. I do like to predict things that other people ignore. Sometimes it gets me the points, other times, mostly, it does not. Okay, next up is Rennes against Maccabi Haifa. Haifa really impressed me. Was it last season in the Champions League? But Rennes are an extremely talented team. They've lost Jeremy Doku now to Man City, though, so that could have a bearing on the game. I think for that reason, 2-1. But when they do the away match in Israel, I think they really need to be aware. They are very strong at home. So weird seeing Liverpool in this competition. They're against Lask of Austria, and the score predictions are wild: 4-0, 3-0, 5-0. I don't think that will happen, primarily because I don't think they'll actually play their strongest team. I think they'll use this as an opportunity to play a couple of the youngsters, or at least mix the youngsters in with other team members. Obviously the Premier League is their absolute priority. So I actually disagree with the scoreline. I'm going to say 2-0. Okay, Union Saint-Gilloise of Belgium against Toulouse of France. I actually think Union are the better team. Actually, looking at this, you agree with me. I thought there's quite good odds on 1-1. I think 2-1 is probably, for me, it's a highly likely scoreline. I think the danger with Union Saint-Gilloise is that they did have to sell a lot of their players. They're one of those, smaller teams that has an amazing campaign, both in domestically and in Europe. And as a result, they were poached. So, but at least they got quite good money for most of them, actually. Okay, let's go. Sturm Graz, again of Austria, against Sporting, who came 4th in Portugal. They're still one of the best sides in Portugal, however, and I think that they would, for me, would be a favourite for this match. Yeah, you agree. I thought they did brilliant, and of course they knocked Arsenal out of the competition last year. I'm going to go with 2-0. Okay, Atalanta against Rakov Częstochowa. Rakov, I watched them play their Champions League qualifier, which they lost, wasn't it, to Copenhagen? And it was literally like they needed it. They had so many chances right at the end. Copenhagen were hanging on for dear life after being quite comfortable. They're a strong team, and I don't think you should underestimate them. These consider on paper that it's just a complete unknown who's won the Polish league against an established European team with very good recruitment. Atalanta. Has Skamaka from West Ham gone there this season? Anyway, so 2-0, 3-0, 3-1. I think 2-0, but Atalanta have to be careful on the away leg. Okay, next up is Rangers against Real Betis. This will be close, I think. Real Betis did shock Man United last season, so they've got it in them to do well in the cup competition. But, I think this Rangers team is pretty decent. They did crumble at the last, trying to get into the Champions League, but right up to the last couple of minutes of the second game, the second half of the second game, they crumbled. But up to that point, they were neck and neck with PSV. So I think that they will at least get a draw. Okay, next up, we've got Sparta Praha against Aris Limassol. Aris Limassol are Cyprus, right? I do rate this Sparta team. I'm going to say 2-0 off the bat. They are the champions of Czechia, I believe, and didn't make it into the Champions League. They came down to the Europa League, so I can see them doing quite well. Talking about, tricky. So this goes, so Brighton, I really rate, and I think they've got a very good chance of getting into the Champions League this year in the English Premier League. Don't laugh at me, I think it could happen. But like I said, the Greek teams have recruited really well. But they are away in England, so I'm going to say 3-1. Okay, Ajax and Marseille, two absolute powerhouses of European football through the years. Both came third, or Marseille maybe came fourth. And they're sort of rebuilding at the moment. Ajax lost a big number of good players like Kudus in the summer. But they've always got, their youth talent. I'm going to say, it's very close. Maybe I'll just cop out and say 2-2. The people are saying 1-2, 2-2 and 2-1. Maybe, shall I be? No, I said gut instinct. I'm going to go with my first instinct. Okay, Olympiacos, Freiburg. Freiburg are a very good team. Did well in Bundesliga last year. Started pretty decent this year as well. Olympiacos, one of those Greek teams I said have done well. So I think maybe 2-1 to Olympiacos. West Ham, winners of the Conference League, and Bachka Topola. I don't even know where Bachka are from. Are they from Slovakia? I have no idea. I think West Ham, again, I don't see scorelines of 3-0, 4-0 because they'll probably be resting some of the bigger players for the Premier League. But I could see a 2-0. And just before we look at the Conference League, I need to play my booster. Who do I think has the best chance of winning? It's probably Liverpool, isn't it? So I'm going to play my booster there. Okay, crossing over into the other side now. Let's look at the Conference League. And as before, this is the code to join the Europa Conference League. Okay, shall we take a look at the teams involved and the matches? Okay, so Lille, who I think are going to have a really good season in the French league this year against Olympia Ljubljana. 2-0 and 3-0 are predictions. I think 3-0 could be. Actually, I'll be safer and say 2-0. 48% of people picked that. Okay, you, my subscribers, tell me that the Turkish teams have really reinforced. I had a little look at Fenerbahce last night, and I agree that they've got some really good players in. I've been keeping an eye on Danish football, and Nordsjælland are a really good team, so I don't think we're going to have 3-0. I think more realistic is going to be something like 2-1. I think Nordsjælland are going to have a good season this year. Okay, Ludogorets against Spartak Trnava. Ludogorets nearly qualified for the Europa, I believe, so they've come down. They're a good team, and they played really well last year. I don't know anything about Spartak Trnava, so I'm going to say a 2-0, which 28% of other people have picked as well. Okay, PAOK, another of those Greek teams that I think has got a really good squad. Away to HJK. Some people are saying narrow win. I think I agree. I might go with a popular one and say 2-1. At home, I think they'll be more successful. Okay, so it's Frankfurt against Aberdeen. Aberdeen are not fancied. I think away to Frankfurt in the opening game, I have to agree, but I do hope that they have a good season in Europe. I'm going to say 2-0. Okay, Ferencváros against Čukarički. I know very little about Čukarički. I can't even remember where they're from. Are they from Croatia? Ferencváros are a decent team. I'm going to say 1-0. Ooh, this is tricky. So Henk, really good team from Belgium. Fiorentina, finalists of the Conference League last year, didn't qualify because I think they came 8th and they didn't win the cup, which would have gotten them into the Europa League, which is where West Ham is, but Juventus were chucked out of Europe, so Fiorentina took their place instead. What are people saying? 2-1, 3-1, 2-0, 1-0. I'm going to go 1-0 because I think they're both really good teams. Tough group that must be. Okay, Zrinjski. They must be Croat because of the emblem and the colours. Against Alkmaar. Alkmaar got really far in the competition last year. I really rate them. 3-1, 3-0, 2-1, 2-0. I'm going to say 2-1 because away in Croatia is not an easy place to go. Okay, Legia Warszawa against Aston Villa. This Aston Villa team is very, very good at the minute. I don't know anything about Legia, but Aston Villa surely are not going to play their strongest team in the Conference League, are they? They're going to be wanting to do better in the Premier League, so 4-1's not going to happen. I think 2-0 could, though. Maybe, actually, do you know what? 1-0, I think. Okay, Lugano against Bodø Glimt. Bodø Glimt did really well last season. Lugano, the Swiss team, I think just a 1-0 is probably a safe bet for me because I don't know too much about either team. Wow, Belgian teams have got some difficult games, haven't they? So, Besiktas really reinforced very, very well in the summer. They want to get back in the Champions League. Club Brugge, equally, are a Champions League team. Or did they make it to the quarterfinals last year? So, tough. I'm going to say 1-1. They might cancel each other out. Okay, final 5. Dinamo Zagreb, Astana. Astana is a decent team, but Dinamo Zagreb are fantastic. I think 2-0 is realistic. Victoria Pilsen against Balkany. I remember this Balkany side nearly getting out of the group stage last year. They, I think they won away in Sivasspor, if I remember correctly. They are tricky customers, so it's at home for the Czechia team. I'm going to say narrow victory, but don't be shocked if this Kosovan team surprise you. Don't be shocked if they shock you. Okay, Ghent away, probably playing in Poland against the Ukrainian team Luhansk. I'm going to say that it will be tricky, but I think the Belgians can just do it. I like this Ghent team. Okay, Maccabi Tel Aviv against Predictor. Predictor did so well to get into Europe, the first Faroese team to do it, and is Klaksvik the first Icelandic team to get in? Or were they... Oh, Klaksvik. Icelandic. I'm going to check, actually. I'm going to pause and check. I just checked, I got it the wrong way around. So Breiðablik are the Icelandic team and Klaksvik are the Faroese team. So congrats to both nations for getting teams in. I'm really hopeful that at some point in the next 5 to 10 years Wales can get a team into this competition. People are thinking that Tel Aviv will win. I don't know. I think this team did really, really well. I'm going to be cheeky and say 1-1. Slovan Bratislava did pretty decent in the competition last year. People aren't obviously expecting much from this tiny little team. I think 2-1 is probably about right, but I could see a 1-1. Okay, time to play the booster before we finish. Who do I think will definitely get those score lines? I think maybe Aston Villa or... Yeah, Aston Villa are one of the strongest teams in the competition. So I'm going to say that they will win. But I think there is an opportunity before the Europa League teams come down to the competition. A Belgian team, Dinamo Zagreb, or a Fiorentina will be in the mix. AZ Alkmaar again. Frankfurt had to be taken seriously, but maybe it's a turn for someone from Greece or from Turkey. Lille as well, I'll keep an eye on them. What do you think? Who's going to win the competition? Okay, thank you so much. So, those are my predictions. Give me a comment, drop a like, and subscribe to the channel if you're new, and I'll see you really soon, okay? Thanks to all of you who have joined my Patreon, and anyone who's also given me a super thanks. Thank you so much. I really, really appreciate it. You're awesome. Okay, take care everyone. Bye 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 bye.